Hello, my name is Lucas, this is A Bit of Lit, and I am here to talk about Saga of the Swamp Thing Part 3, which I have really enjoyed. I loved it a lot. What I'm loving about this series, which I think is getting better and better and better with each iteration and each issue, is that Alan Moore keeps finding new ways to reveal fears that people have. Not just gross out fears or some kind of religious fears, perhaps that we would have seen in the Saga of the Swamp Thing Volume 2, or fears of possession or fears of losing yourself and that kind of thing. But again, we have the body horror of Swamp Thing, but we also have body horror with an irradiated figure in the first two issues, the Nuke Face Papers, I believe is what it was called, and the fear of radioactivity and our nuclear power plants failing us and that kind of thing. We've also got fears, vampires, monsters, werewolves, losing your child, the deep dark stain of racism, and a kind of horrific return to the past and that kind of thing. All of these are ever present, and it's really well done in this volume. I really enjoy the first two issues because I believe his name is Nuke Face Adam, if I remember right. It's been a couple weeks since I read it. I haven't been able to use my camera for a while, so I haven't been able to talk about the books I've been reading. Like, for example, Chapter House Dune. I didn't like it. Review over for that. But yeah, there's this really funny exchange with Swamp Thing, where Swamp Thing comes into contact with him, feeling that there's this figure that's destroying the green, and he needs to confront it. But he sees Nuke Face Adam, or whoever he is, and asks, "Who are you?" And of course he says, "I am an American citizen," as he looks for more irradiated muck to drink. Which I thought was just really funny. But this introduces a new power that comes in great use for the next character that Swamp Thing meets. Swamp Thing becomes poisoned by the radiation from Nuke Face Adam, if that is his name, and in fact has to try to be reborn. Not even, and by that what I mean is that he won't even be reborn with the plant tissue that has the memories of Alec Holland that come from the liquid chemical thing that he was working on in his own experiments when he was a human. Although Swamp Thing was never human, he was always plants infused with the memory of Alec Holland through the chemical thing that spilled from the explosion that killed Alec Holland. He's not even that anymore. He's an entirely different thing, which continues the sort of psychological drama and horror of who he is, and trying to figure out what it means for him to be the being that he is. Really well done, very interesting. But this comes in great handy when he meets John Constantine, who is willing to use anybody and is not the most trustworthy figure, although seems to mean well. He's a bit shady, and I like that. He's a very curious character. I hope we see more of him. Maybe not too much more, but yeah, I'm hoping to see more of him. The next handful of issues deals with him and has Swamp Thing going around the country looking for answers that John Constantine promises to give him, although Swamp Thing, in his efforts to solve these problems that he's become aware of, made aware of by John Constantine, starts to learn more about what he is and what his existence allows him to do, what powers he has as a Swamp Thing. And that's really cool. But maybe it's not everything John Constantine wants to reveal. I don't know. It's very interesting. But yeah, there's these like mermaid vampires, and that is really creepy in itself. I thought that was really well done. And then there's a story that deals with a woman, and yeah, that one is kind of like the plights of women and the suffering they go through, and she's a werewolf, with the monthly cycle and that kind of thing. The way that the werewolf transforms from human is absolutely horrific, and the things that are on her mind, the anger that she feels, I think is, sorry for my eye was itching me, but the anger that she feels is extremely real and visceral and moving and heartbreaking and extremely well done. And then of course there's the last little bit of Saga of the Swamp Thing Part 3, which deals a lot with Abby, who's got this kind of new job working at a plantation where they're filming something, and everything just falls apart when the director and the actors start sort of taking on these personas of the past, because they're filming a period piece set during the times of slavery, and all hell breaks loose. Incredible handful of issues. I look forward to Saga of the Swamp Thing Part 4 because it just keeps getting better. So thank you. What did you think of it? What do you think of the whole series? Or what do you think of Alan Moore's work? What's your favorite of his? Is it, Watchmen? Is it V for Vendetta? Is it Saga of the Swamp Thing? Is it The Killing Joke? Is it something else that's not as common and popular or in the know, in the mainstream like those ones? Let me know. Thank you.